Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Let me set the record straight. After our protest on February 6th, CPS was quoted in the Tribune saying that they had no data to support claims that students were forced to transfer from their schools due to transportation challenges. Well, that's true. CPS has no data to support those claims because they are purposely not tracking it. Lack of transportation isn't an option on the exit survey for students, and there's not a space for families to write it in as the reason for leaving their school. So let me ask you, are these families being heard? Are these students, like you want to hear from, are they being heard when they have to leave a school that they're thriving in? Assuming having to leaving their school is a huge deal. Don't you think it's important to know exactly why they're leaving or transferring? Are you trying to ignore the cancellation of appropriate transportation for 5,500 students? Like it really isn't a problem? Are you afraid to keep track of the students and families affected? Are you afraid of what it may reveal, the injustice of it, especially when 85% of those students come from low income households? At least 154 students from 14 season magnet schools had to leave at the beginning of the school year that we know of. But we're finding that that number is actually a lot higher. In preparation for our protest, we reached out to several season magnet schools on the south side of the city and found they had lost so many students at the beginning of the school year. One of the principals said there were so many people crying because of the students that had to leave due to the lack of transportation. But you wouldn't know that because CPS chose not to give the option on their exit survey. How ridiculous. I found out recently that our neighborhood school had to create a whole new seventh grade class at the beginning of the school year because so many children had to leave their schools to go back to their neighborhood school. But you wouldn't know that because there was no option for them to put a lack of transportation on their exit survey. Oh, and Keller just lost a student last week due to a lack of transportation. This was a minority family and they didn't transfer to another CPS school. They moved to the suburbs where they don't have to deal with this anymore. But you wouldn't know that because there's no option on the exit survey. So to use Vice President Todd Breland's words from the videos that were released this week, we need a clear path forward, but we need that for transportation. We need the transportation disruptions to stop. Reinstated transportation allowance now. I just have one more thing. Thank you. You're negatively changing students' lives forever. Mr. Martinez, all of the above that you stated earlier can't happen without transportation for all students that qualify for it. It's just not possible. So the dismantling of our schools has already begun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.